Hey, everybody. J Real here with Brandon Jack and a Crack Dvorak. And we haven't done a show in a while. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done a show with Brandon. And we got some things to talk about. We went to the picture show yesterday. We'll talk about what we saw and what we think about it and that kind of stuff. But it is Monday, the 11th, August the 11th, 2025. And it's a typical Texas summer. It's not as hot as it could be. This time of year in August, it's not unusual to get like 105, 110 degrees. And it's been in the mid 90s with that, what they call the heat index, has been like 104, 105, that kind of stuff. But really, we've had a fairly mild summer compared to what we usually have. So, but trying to think what else to say as far as an intro, but that's pretty much it. I had sent a message to Brandon yesterday because you and I'll let you talk about it, Brandon. You're probably going to have to find a new place to live. You've been dealing with that, and trying to get things in line for that. So,
Yeah, it's been a real busy couple weeks, but we finally got some free time to go to the movies, and we've seen some interesting stuff.
hey, Kathy. Kathy's saying hey to us. Hey, y'all. Hey, Kathy. Well, I sent you a message yesterday. I mean, I was like, well, look, I'll pitch in some money. Let's get out. Let's see a movie. Let's go out to eat. Let's forget about our troubles and just get out, enjoy ourselves. And you just sent me a message. Okay, and it was as simple as that. Okay, and but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what we saw and what we thought about it and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I kind of want to have a bone to pick with the Fathom event stuff though, because
With
like they're doing the Fathom events. They show the old movies.
oh yeah,
Because they're doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre Day, but they're only having one showtime in one day, and I think that's kind of bullshit. I don't know
and
why they can't.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but where is this at?
The Cinemark in Waco, so it's going to be one
Oh,
day for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you have to get that one showtime or you won't be able to see it. And I think that's kind of bullshit because, no offense to Jaws, but Jaws gets like 4 or 5 days. Batman gets 4 or 5 days, and then like it's just for this one movie. It's like nope, you only get one damn chance.
and is it on a day that you can't make it?
Yeah, and it pisses me off because it's like, why do they have to like be like I don't know, like have like different? They have enough auditoriums, goddamn, like shit. That's what I'm
I
saying.
didn't even know they were going to do that. So.
Yeah, but it's just I'm just saying I don't see why they can't be like, okay, we're gonna make this like a 3 day thing, or we're gonna have it showing like because it ain't like they don't have the space. I mean, not all of those are even like running, but just my little rant on them
Yeah.
being hoes.
Uh, but yeah, just nice to have a day to just get out and just see a movie, go out to eat, and just enjoy ourselves. And I'll get
There,
to what we saw. I'll get to what we saw here in a little bit. But
you want to talk about the South Park episodes?
well, yeah, and that's the thing. I'm glad you brought that up because I haven't been watching South Park the last few years. I kind of, I had a South Park kind of period where I really watched. I watched every episode. I really enjoyed South Park. But the last few years, I've kind of tapered off. It's like, I'm kind of done with South Park. But then I started seeing stuff online saying you need to start watching South Park again, and you did too. You need to see South Park. And so it's on it's on HBO Max. So I pulled up the first episode of the year, and it was hilarious. And they're going after Trump. And well, anyway, talk about it.
Well, it got me interested because I'm not. I'll be honest. Like I'm kind of like I was in the mood for South Park a little bit, but then it got to the point where it's like I don't really need to watch, all the time or whatever. I kind of fell out of it. But then I watched it, and it was like one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. And it was just so Donald Trump is kind of like the Saddam Hussein from the South Park movie, to where he's like in bed with the devil. So him and the devil are like a couple.
A couple, yeah.
And they're one day they're chilling. He's like, "I'm not in the mood, Donald. Everyone keeps saying you're on the Epstein list, and you just keep telling me to relax." Like, I can't relax, huh? And they keep
he shows his dick. Look at here.
Yeah,
It's so small I can barely see it.
Yeah, and there's this whole running gag about him having a small dick or whatever, and him suing everybody. And for those who don't know, once Trump been suing everybody, he sued Paramount or something, and they think that's why Colbert got fired. And so there's this whole part where Jesus comes to South Park, and he's like, eat the bread, shut up. Just don't, you want to be like Colbert? You want to get canceled?
The way he says it is, just eat the bread, just eat
the bread. Eat the bread. Shut the fuck up. You want to be like Colbert?
You saw what happened to Colbert, come on, eat the bread.
Don't be fucking stupid. Eat the bread.
Eat the bread.
And then at the end, and everyone said it was a deep fake, and they did do some AI deep fake stuff, but they actually found a fat actor and they put makeup on him. And if you can see the makeup, I don't even think they really had to put digital stuff on him because he actually looked like Trump with all that shit on him.
Yeah.
It kind of it does kind of bug me that the makeup artist didn't get enough credit, and they're all saying it was digital and stuff, but that they did put makeup on a dude to make him look like Trump, and he's going through the desert and he starts stripping. He's taking all his clothes off, and then he falls over, and like this little like penis shows up with eyes and a mouth, and he's like, "Stop it! I support this message." And it says something like, "His penis may be tiny, but his love for you is huge." Because they have to do Trump PSAs or something as part of their settlement because they got sued by him. And in the second episode, Mr. Mackey loses his job due to like budget cuts and stuff by Trump, and so he joins ICE and he starts like deporting Mexicans and stuff. And they're all like, "We have to get the Mexicans in heaven too. I heard there's a lot of Mexicans in heaven." So they're going to heaven and they're like deporting the Mexican angels, and the lady's face falls off. Like the lady's face falls off. The ice woman, her face falls off like the substance or something. And
I think they were trying to take it off on the substance.
And apparently, like she says she killed her dog in a book. So every time there's a dog in the episode, she like shoots it and shit.
Yeah, she shot the dog in the head.
She shot Crypto. Crypto came to try to save him, and she shot him too. And it was a crazy episode. JD Vance was like a midget from like that from like what's that? The plane or whatever it was. Yeah, it was. It sounds dumb as fuck when I describe it, but it was one of the funniest things I ever seen. And I think it was,
now South Park is relevant. It's relevant again. South Park.
Yeah.
And now, I'm not going to miss an episode anymore. So I'm back to watching South Park.
And they got a statement from the White House, and like they might get sued, and the White House was saying they're irrelevant and they're beefing with the government and ICE on Facebook and shit and Twitter, and it's a very bizarre time.
We are we're definitely living in bizarre times.
I never thought the White House would respond to South Park, and then like they might get sued, and then they're arguing with the White House, and they double down too. Like they deported Dora the Explorer, and they had her like being like an Epstein worker. And when Mr. Mackey goes to like Trump's house, he sees like Dora the Explorer like giving old men like massages and shit. And it's fucking crazy, dude. But it was good, and people say, well, why didn't they make fun of Biden? Well, Biden was kind of, I don't know, there wasn't too much there. It's like he has Alzheimer's and he's stupid. Like I think there's more meat on the bone with like Trump.
Yeah.
You know. Also, I don't think Biden would have even responded to any of that because he probably wouldn't remember it anyway. You know. So that's like they just want to like I guess poke the bear. You know. Because they did that. Remember? Didn't they do that to Tom Cruise? Like they were calling Tom Cruise gay or some shit, and he like tried to
Well,
sue him. And they just doubled down.
they
Like they
skewered
didn't get.
they made fun of everybody.
Yeah,
So,
but they didn't give a fuck. When he told them to quit, they doubled down. Like they just didn't care that he like sued them. They just kept doing the joke over and over again. They just didn't give a shit. Like I don't think they know who they're messing with. They're messing with people who they don't care. They get sued. They're billionaires. They don't care. You know?
yeah.
Yeah, but I liked it better than the new King of the Hill. So that's pretty
I haven't
good.
seen that yet. I still want to see that, but I haven't seen that
I
yet.
like the story, but the animation's fucking terrible. It just looks weird and kind of cheap. And they replaced Khan, who was voiced by a white dude, with a real Asian, but he sounds like a white dude.
Huh.
So instead of sounding like Asian, he's like, "I'm Khan, haha, redneck." And this is like, what? It's just I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about South Park because that shit was hilarious, and I think it's hilarious that the same people that cry about people being offended and the woke, they're offended by this and they're crying and all that stuff because oh god, you made fun of Trump. Well, goddamn, you it's which one is it? Is that where we draw the line? You can't make fun of Trump or whatever, you know? I don't know. It's just kind of
Well, actually, for a lot of people, that is where you draw the line. You're not supposed to make fun of Trump.
no, I know. I made fun of every president, and I never had anyone get like to where I thought I was in
Yeah,
physical danger because
exactly. We talked about that. I think on the
I
last show.
made fun of Donald Trump one time, and I thought one of my relatives it was going to come to blows over it. Like they were red and crying, and like I was like, "Damn!"
No one ever broke into the Capitol over any other president that lost the election.
But I'm just saying, what I said wasn't even that bad. I was just like mimicking his. But damn, this like I made fun of their daddy, and they got pissed.
But let's see. Well, before we continue, you gifted along with a cold latte drink. You gifted me, and I really enjoyed that. Had that this morning after I already had my coffee and a damn
Yeah, that was
coffee.
kind of dangerous for you to do that. Damn, you had
Yeah,
2 coffee pods. That
yeah, and then a Pepsi, and then this latte drink, and it was really sweet and good. But you gifted me something else, and you're a bad influence on me because you not only have you had me eating head cheese, and I got through that, but now you're going to have me
Well,
drinking
I figured
alcohol.
I would make up I figured I'd make up for the head cheese by getting something that's actually good. I mean, I like head cheese, but for other people, it's gross. I'll go get mine too because I got me one of whatever it is.
The latte was really good, but I don't drink alcohol anymore. Uh, I last July 4th, I drank too much beer, and I don't remember anything about it. No, it was after July 4th. But anyway, I was told I said some things that I was acting the fool and stuff, and I don't remember a second of it. I drank like 6, 7 beers, which for me is might as well have been 2 12 packs because I don't drink anymore. Anyway, but I'm going to tonight, and this is Crazy Lady Honey Blonde Ale.
You know, it's so funny because my sister and them they went to Florida, and I tried to get Mickey's Ice because they only sell Mickey's Ice malt liquor down there. She brought me this craft beer. I guess they're too uppity to buy Mickey's Ice.
Uh,
So they brought
uh,
us, and they say Mickey's Ice is ghetto. Look at this. She's a hooer. She is acting like a hooer. Look at her.
it says Key West on the back here.
And then there she has her top. She has her top off on the side of the can, being a hooer. You won't buy Mickey's Ice, but you buy me a beer with a hooer on it.
But how would before I taste it, how would you describe what kind of beer is this?
This is a craft beer. I never had it before. It's from Florida. It's made with local honey, and it's a honey brown ale, so I'm assuming it's going to be sweet. And I do drink. I know I'm kind of white trash, but I do drink craft beer from time to time. But I was trying to get us some Mickey's ice malt liquor, but whatever. There you go.
Hang on, do I? I don't think I have a glass that you can see through. Hang on. I'll probably just drink it out of the can.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
I don't have a good glass.
It's all right. You can just sniff the can because you're supposed to sniff these fancy beers before you drink them and shit. But
But
okay, so
anyway,
Mickey's
crazy lady, honey blonde ale. So here we go.
Mickey's Ice was too ghetto for them to buy, but they bought a Hewer. That's Hewer beer.
Hooer beer.
Hewer
Okay,
beer.
here's Munya.
Ain't bad.
Huh.
Kind of sweet and bitter. Just like the Hewers I know. You meet them and they're sweet, and then it ends kind of bitter.
It is. Exactly. It has a sort of a sweetness, but it finishes kind of bitter.
Just like that damn Hooer Luann, man. Broke my damn heart. Started out sweet as could be. It ended up bitter.
That's the word for tonight. Hooer.
Hooer. And you got to say it like that. Hooer.
Hooer.
I was doing karaoke one night and some girl was singing Jolene, and there was this other guy next to me, and we're talking about her being a hooer. Not the lady singing, but Jolene. I was like, yeah, we met Jolene. She's a hooer. We kept it up the whole night. And they're like, who are y'all talking about, Jolene? And they thought we were talking about a real person. They're like, damn. Like we're like, yeah, she's a hooer. That Jolene's a hooer and a skank. Don't trust her.
Well, you know, since you bring up that song, what always bothered me about that song, Jolene, is, you know, don't take my man just because you can, or well, I forget what the lyrics are. But I'm like, well, how about the son of a bitch of a husband that would even let her, you know, take him away, or you know.
That's what I always wonder too. It's like, goddamn, if he's
He
that
can't be
easy.
much of a fucking husband if he's going to let this hooer, you know.
Well, chick, and what pisses me off too is the girl at karaoke just sang the song, and everyone's like, "Damn, if Dolly Parton looked that good back then, what did Jolene look like?" It says it in the song. She got red hair and green eyes, and she's fucking pale. I guess she's one of them Irish hooers. I don't know.
Well,
It
like I
could be this.
say,
It could be this hoe right here.
he's she's talking to Jolene, you know, well, please don't take my man. And I'm like, well, fuck that. How about your fucking husband that would let himself be taken? He's got to be a son of a bitch if he's going to be that easily, you know, swayed by this hooer, you know.
My granny got upset at me one time because they're listening to an old Patsy Cline tape or something. I think it was Patsy Cline that was like "Stand by your man," or what. And she goes on, it's like, damn, it sounds like her man's a piece of shit. And they're like, it's like, I understand, like maybe if she was like, oh, he's good to me and shit, so I stand by him, it's fine. But she's all like, she makes it sound like he's. I don't remember all the lyrics, but she makes him sound like he's kind of a piece of shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Jolene, I don't think Jolene is the one that looks bad in that song. It's her damn husband that looks like him.
I mean, they're both bad, but you know, but still, I've been accused of being the other man before, and I didn't do shit. I said, well, goddamn, if you're that worried, I told the guy, I was like, if you're that worried about your girlfriend, maybe you should get a new one. I mean, damn. It's like, you know, nothing comes between two buddies than a hooer. You just get just like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage were a good tag team, and then Elizabeth being a little hooer, showing her ass, causing problems, and then the Mega Powers exploded. And then Macho Man was like, I see the lust in your eyes, Hulk Hogan for Elizabeth. And Hogan's like, no, brother, you got it all wrong, brother. But he was filling on some cake. He was filling on some cake when he picked her up. And Macho Man ain't mad that she distracted the other tag team by showing her ass being a little hooer.
The word for the night, hooer.
One of my coworkers, I don't know if you would want me to say it, because I know last time I said some things that were kind of, it's the C word.
Well, I mean, there is no, no N words, but and
Yeah, I ain't going to say that. I wouldn't say that one.
midget was flying around pretty heavily, and
But she called someone the C word, and she was all like, that. And I
well,
was like, and I say it like it's nothing. I mean, that's one of my favorite, like, I like insults or whatever. And she's like, yeah.
What I say when I'm going to call a girl that is, "See you next Tuesday." Uh,
Well, that was the funniest shit because
and
they're
they
out there
don't,
smoking and
they
shit.
rarely get that, so I can get away with it. See you next Tuesday.
But I just thought it was hilarious because she walked out there on break, took a big, I'm talking about, this was a 100, just, and she's like, and I was just like, me? No, that bitch in there. And I was like, damn. It's like she smoked the whole cigarette in 2 inhales. God damn. This stuff takes effect quick.
Yeah, I'm already feeling a buzz because, like I say, I don't drink, so I don't take much to give me a buzz. But
It's 5.5, so it's as strong as Bud Ice.
I like the taste of it.
It gets better as you go. The bitterness went away some.
Yeah.
You need a little bit of bitterness in there, but a lot of these craft beers overdo the hops. That's what that bitterness is. Like there's some to where it's like it's so damn bitter. Like I like IPAs. Like there's one called Hopadilla IPA that's pretty good, but it's kind of bitter too.
Huh.
Yeah, it's supposed to. If you don't finish it, it's supposed to come for you. The Hopadillo.
But I'm seeing that we got 5 views here, so if anyone's watching, speak up. Let us know you're here. Hit that thumbs up.
Anyone,
I'm
if
going to get
anyone's
drunk here, so I'm really going to
if
go
anyone's
off on you people. Now
if
give me
anybody's watching this, does she think she's
thumbs
a
up.
hooer? You think that's a hooer, or is that a liberated woman? I don't know.
Well, she's taking her bra off, and she's celebrating being topless, and yeah.
That reminds me, Waco L Company has one called the Cali Ho.
Uh,
So they be
what was the restaurant in Waco called Fat Hole Burgers?
oh dude, I missed that shit. They repossessed the Fat Ho truck.
Yeah, and that but I heard it's like the best burgers ever.
Oh, it's
Fat Hole.
fucking delicious, dude. They have a sloppy Joe, but it's a sloppy ho and a set of sides. Like you know how like I went to Whataburger today and they have like your sides. They call theirs side hoes. Side pieces. So it's like I want a super fly hoe, which is like their big burger, and I want a side hoe with fries. Hell yeah, it was
Fat Hole
freaking
Burger,
good.
but I never got a Fat Hole Burger. But anyway, I have finished my honey blonde ale. That was good. Yeah, thank you, Brandon, for
Was it
giving.
better than the head cheese?
Oh, much better than the head cheese. And let's see, Darren. Hey, Darren. Hey, Darren. What's up, Jay and Brandon? Yeah, nice to see you, Darren.
Darren, does she look
Sure.
like a hoe? Does that look like a hooer on the can?
Well, it's just a girl celebrating not having to wear a bra. It looks like she's in good, nice shape. So it's a nicely shaped gal.
She's a pretty hooer. Well, you
And she,
can't see her face, Jay. She's in the shadows.
well, yeah, but heck, from what I'm seeing, the perspective, or whatever you call it, the outline looks nice, and she ain't wearing no damn bra, not no more. But Darren, tell us again where you're at, Darren. You're way across the pond there, aren't you? And it's like 3 or 4 in the morning for you, isn't it?
Yeah, man, he's lucky because I think he's in England and they have like Newcastle and shit. We can't. It's very rare we find that around here.
But
Yeah, I
I'll
like.
tell you, I've got me a nice little light buzz going with the
Dude,
the
some of these, I even told the people at the Waco L Company, I'm like, you don't want to get a lawsuit for DWIs because a lot of these craft beers are high alcohol. Like I'm talking about 8%, 9%, 12%. Some are even like 20%, and they do like a tasting. So they bring you this little thing, and they have like 4 or 5 glasses of beer in it, and you're supposed to do the little tasting of it, and they're not big glasses, but still, I'm like, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen, I think, because I mean, if you're drinking beers that are like 10%, 12%, 20% alcohol, and you're just
Yeah.
if we didn't have a
Anyway,
designated driver, you know,
Darren's in Wales, and it's 1 a.m. there. So, yeah,
damn.
in Wales. Yeah. We'll get Dirk in here. We'll have him join us. But yeah, in the UK.
I wonder what he thinks about us because if I was from another country, I'd be like, God damn, them Americans are they're wilding over there.
Well, of
It's
course,
fucking crazy over there.
they're pretty tight with the Dead Pit guys, and as much as as thick as our accents are, then good Lord.
No, I'm talking about like just with everything with like Trump trying to sue South Park and
Oh
them
God!
making
Can
it.
you just imagine what our country looks like, what our president looks
That's
like?
what I'm saying, dude. And in Texas, and look, I pray and everything. I believe in God, but they made it a law. You have to have the 10 Commandments in school, and it
Yeah,
has to
they
be a
just
certain
passed that.
size. And my thing is, it's like I believe in Jesus and everything. But that's unconstitutional. Like, well, fuck the Constitution. And it's just like, well, wait a minute. That's kind of like the point is you're not supposed to change stuff, and it's going to lead to conflict because guess what? I know people who are Baptist, Methodist, and Catholic. They all believe in the same God, but they come to blows over that shit. So
Darren says I prefer Americans to UK people. He likes us better than his own people. So
yeah, I don't know.
yeah, but what do you think about Donald Trump, Darren?
I'm scared. I'm scared. ICE is going to come and take me away. They're gonna be like, boom. They're gonna put me on the boat with the Mexicans. Oh, dude, I went to Heart of Texas Wrestling, and my friend Mason. There's a British guy wrestling, and we said no beans on toast, and it really pissed him off. Like out of all the shit we said, that pissed him off the most was no beans on toast, and he got fucking pissed. And good thing there was security because he was a big bloke, as they say. And then my friend Mason said, my friend Mason said, deport him with the Mexicans.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is a beans on toast is a British thing.
Yeah, they eat beans on toast supposedly. I don't know, but we said that it pissed him off.
Do you eat beans on toast, Darren?
Dude, and he came at, and I don't know if he was just being part of the show, but he came at us, and the security guys came, and my friend Mason's like, deport him with the Mexicans. Deport him with the Mexicans. And like he got pissed, and then they were like wrestling and shit. And our guy won, and we're like, yay. And then after that, like, I don't know if he was really mad because this big dude, he had to be part of the wrestling crew because he was big, and he just kind of sat by us and was like, I'm glad you guys are enjoying the show. I'm just going to be here just to make sure nothing happens to y'all. And but apparently they got pissed.
He's not a fan of Trump. Dirk knows how I really feel about him. Beans on toast is a thing here for sure. Beans on toast.
Yeah, dude.
I'd like to try that. It's just like,
and like, here's the thing: we never. They said you can say anything you want as long as you don't cuss or have profanity. But I guess we pissed some of those guys off because the dude came by us and he's like, "Yeah, man, I think what y'all are doing is great and everything, First Amendment. But I'm just gonna kind of be by you just to make sure nothing bad happens." And I didn't want to scare my buddies off because it was their first time coming to the wrestling. So I was just like, "Bro, they sent like one of the big ass dudes to make sure nothing happens to."
Well, what do? You fix some toast and you just pour beans over the toast and just eat it that way?
I'm gonna put some ranch style beans on some toast and eat that shit on the show.
I'd eat it. I mean, I like beans. I like toast. I'll eat beans on toast. I don't think I've ever done it, but I'll do it. And why don't we talk about the movie we saw? But here's what I'm going to do.
Ah, damn, he got props and everything. Did we talk about the other movies that we saw too?
Since I'm ringing the bell, let's go ahead and talk about Together. And this is, was it James Franco and Allison Brie?
Not James Franco. He's the one that got canceled. The other Franco.
Dave Franco. Sorry.
Yeah.
Dave Franco.
The other one got canceled.
And
I heard he was tasting
There's
Hooters.
his sausage and beans on toast is his favorite. So I need to add some sausage to it. But anyway, Dave Franco and Allison Brie, and they're actually a real life couple. I don't think they're married, but they're actually together as a couple. Um, and we had three choices, and it was the time that uh, Together won because it was a 2 o'clock show for Together, and it was like a 3 or 4 o'clock show for Naked Gun, and then Weapons, which is another movie that's getting a lot of buzz. Weapons, from the guy that made what was it, that movie? Anyway, it was Together that won the lottery, so we saw Together. And how to describe this thing? I don't want to give a lot of spoilers because I think you guys should check it out.
It's hard to talk about though, because it's hard to talk about because you don't want to. Yeah, you don't. The more you talk about it, you're going to spoil it. You just kind of need to see it. It's about codependency, and you could read into it whatever you want to read into it too. That's what makes it so good.
The thing is, it wears its theme on its sleeve. It's very blatant about what its theme is, and that's codependency. That's feeling that you have to be attached to another person, that you just can't continue your life without this other person. That you just, in order to continue your life, you've got to have this other person present. Codependency. And for fans of the substance, it definitely gets into a body horror state of being. There's some very gross physical transformations, I guess you would say, in this film. And as we were watching it, I was enjoying it, but there was sometimes I'd hear Brandon kind of muttering, "This is so stupid."
Yeah, it was a bit. It's so weird because I normally like slow burn movies, and I didn't hate this. The more time passes, the more I actually like it because you think about it and stuff. But a part of me is like, God dang, we got to hurry this shit up. Like, come on now.
Well, it was a slow burn movie, and also, I think the moments that were silly and stupid and kind of over the top, it was intentional. It was intentionally funny, intentionally silly, intentionally over the top. Particularly the reactions of Dave Franco and Allison Brie when bizarre, freaky shit starts to happen. The way they react to it is funny. And yeah, it's definitely a movie about codependency, about, they're this couple, they're not married, but at the beginning they're at this party, and she kind of proposes to him, and he's kind of slow to react to it. And it's like, well, should we be together? Do we really love each other? What are we doing? I think I love you. And it was like, they're really not sure, that they should be together. And long story short, they go on a hike and fall through a hole in the ground into like a cavern, a cave. And there's like a pool of water. And if there's a pool of water in a dank and dingy cave, what's the last thing you're going to do with that pool of water? What's the last thing
not only
do?
that, you're going to fucking chug that shit. Now, the thing that bugged me about it is, okay, they're in this cave at, chilling all night. And then they're like, okay, it's time to go. And they just crawl out of it. It's like, wait a minute.
Well, and remembering, though, it was pouring down rain really hard. And I think that's kind of what kept them in the cave, is that it was raining so hard that they decided
but at the same time, though, I mean, I used to work at the factories and shit. It sucks having a dry mouth, but you can, when I was at the cabinet shop on the assembly line, I went 4 or 5 waters with 4 or 5 hours with cotton mouth. It sucks. I'm not going to drink out that nasty shit. It's like, I don't understand. I was in Boy Scout. They told me to boil that shit.
And one thing that I'll spoil is at the beginning of the movie, there's this family there's a man that's got 2 kind of hunting dogs. He's out on the field, and the dogs run off, and they get into the cave and they drink from the pool of water, and you see them when they're back home in their cage. They're looking at each other, they're just staring at each other, and then you see their snouts sort of fused together, and their heads kind of fused together, and so you know you shouldn't be drinking that water, but Dave Franco chugs that shit, and then some freaky shit starts to happen. I don't want to spoil it.
And did he waste a
If you
bottle of?
like,
Did he waste a bottle of wine? That pissed me off too. He looked like he had a bottle of wine that wasn't even open. He's like, "This is your second bottle," and he just so he wasted like good alcohol. Like if I'm gonna be stuck in a cave, at least I want to have a buzz going. Like damn, you know.
but
And then they just
anyway,
crawl out of it just like it's nothing.
uh, I'll
I
say
guess that's the
this.
difference between them and me. Even if it's raining, I'd have got out that bitch.
I'll say this. There's few movies where the title has been more perfect than Together.
Well,
Perfect
this
title.
is the first time in a long time. This is the first time in a long time that we actually had someone ask us what our opinion was leaving the theater. You know, there's
Yeah,
very few movies to where the audience talks to you about it. You know,
the movie was over and the credits start to roll, and we hear voices behind us. Hey, what did you think about what you just saw? And and that's like Brandon said, that was unusual. Hardly anyone ever talks to me in a theater, and particularly asked me what I thought about the movie, um, which I thought was cool that someone was actually talking to
it's
us. Not
usually it's usually a Terrifier film. Or like when we saw Iron Claw, me and my buddy saw Iron Claw. It was like a therapy session after that. Everybody was bawling and crying and talking about the movie and stuff. And it was like sometimes, and I like those kind of experiences, you know. And this was kind of because it hasn't happened in a while. You know,
well, I'll say this: the movie, without spoiling, the movie ends with a very graphic physical transformation of some kind
but
between
it
Dave
works.
Franco and Allison Brie. Um, and I think they were just like, maybe they went into this not knowing what they were going to, not knowing what they were going to get. I knew it was going to be sort of body horror kind of thing, kind of a Cronenberg kind of deal. Uh, but maybe they had no idea, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And what did you think about that? And we both had mixed feelings. We were like, "I'll say this: it was unique, and it was good to see." What? Hang on, I've got the. It's his first movie. The Michael
It was
Shanks.
good. Here's the thing: you liked it more than I did, but I appreciate that it wasn't a remake or a sequel or something like that. It was original. And the more I think about it, the more it kind of grows on me. Sometimes I'm like I like it more, sometimes I don't. It's thought provoking, and it kind of stuck with me, and that's a good thing, you know. Because sometimes if you go see a movie and you just forget about it, it's kind of like you know.
Yeah, and
So it's kind
you
of
say
good.
we could take it almost literal. Literal, it grows on you, which is uh, talking about the movie itself and
It's
the shit.
there's so many themes in that film that I think are really interesting, but it's kind of hard to talk about it because you don't want to spoil it.
Well,
It's just you kind of just got to see the movie.
yeah, and speaking of that, the movie is about relationships, basically, and particularly codependent relationships. But it's about you know how close you get to somebody, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. How close you get to
Well,
somebody. Um,
let's
and
let's be honest though. Dave Franco's character needed her more than she needed him before all this shit happened, or at
she's a
least that's the way I view it.
she's a teacher. He's a musician. He plays like in a band, and he was going to go like on tour with this band. Um,
But he's
And
struggling though. He's really struggling. He don't have
yeah,
a driver's license. He don't have really money coming in. And she's
yeah,
kind of like, there's one point in the
drive.
movie where there's one part in the movie where she's like, I'm tired of feeling like your mother, or feeling like I'm your mother or something, you know. And they fight and stuff. And he's kind of dependent on her, but at the same time, even though he's toxic, she can't really leave him either, you know. And it's just kind of those things, man. And it's, I mean, I thought it was all right. It could have picked up the pace a little bit more, but there's
Well,
stuff in the film it's just hard to talk about without spoiling
and that's
shit.
the thing that I think we're both are suggesting that folks go see it.
I wouldn't
Uh,
even watch previews to it. Like, don't watch no previews
oh
to
yeah,
it. Just go see it. Just go
this is
see it.
this is a movie to go in as blind as possible. Don't watch the trailer. Don't watch reviews. You know, just go and see it. And that's the best way, because that's basically the way we saw it. I knew very little about it. I watched a couple of reviews, but they didn't give any kind of spoilers. And yeah, best to go in as blind as possible. But I want to mention some names here. Michael Shanks directed. This is his first movie. And I also want to bring up the actor Damon Harriman that plays the boss of Allison Brie at the school. He's really good. He the, at the very beginning, there's something kind of creepy about him that you just can't quite figure out.
Well, he's also there's a twist kind of in the film that kind of took me by surprise, because I thought that maybe he was gonna try to like steal her from Dave Franco, but then you find some other stuff out, and it,
Yeah,
you know. But it was just it's a, I don't know, it was a good film. It's one of those movies to where I will say it's a good film, but it's just not for me, I guess, if that makes sense.
yeah,
It's kind of like how when I watched the original Star Wars, this is well made. It's a good movie. It's just not for me.
yeah.
You know.
Well, no, that definitely makes sense. But definitely, it's a movie we're talking about, and it's a movie I would suggest if you've got a significant other, this would be a good movie to go see with your wife, your girlfriend.
I would
And
say see it if you're on good terms, but if y'all been fighting and shit, I wouldn't see it, because she'd be like, "You're just like that bastard," in that, and he'll be like, "Oh, you're just like that doer."
but yeah, it definitely, and it gets creepy. It gets scary in places. It gets really gross in places. It's, I guess you would call it a body horror movie, kind of like, I don't want to compare it too much to The Substance because it's a completely different movie, but it's that same kind of style, I guess you would say, body horror kind of movie. Uh,
Neon, I think, is going to be the big, because everyone was. You remember when Blumhouse was first kind of getting popular? Everyone talked about them, and then they kind of went to shit. And then A24 was like the hot thing for a while. I think Neon's going to be like the studio everybody's talking about, because their shit has been a good hit for the most part. And they trick you, because even that trailer, we were watching the trailers, and I was about to tell Jay, oh, another typical boring ass football movie. And then Jordan Peele's name popped up, and all this weird shit started happening. And I'm like, you know what? They sold me on it now. I want to
and
see it.
that movie is called Him, and yeah, like he said, it just starts out. It's like, well, are you willing to sacrifice to be the best or whatever football? And it's like, ah, shit, it's a damn football movie. And then about midway through the trailer, some very weird shit starts to happen, and it's like, well, there's voodoo shit going on, and uh, devil worshiping or something like that. And it's like, well,
Yeah,
now I got
when I saw Jordan Peele's name, it's like this could either be like a horror picture or a comedy, because that's kind of his two things. And then it's like, oh, he's trying to get him to sell his soul to be famous. Okay. And it's just kind of, because when you watch, I'm like, another boring ass football movie. They're lifting weights, trying to win the big game. Yeah, we've been here before. Oh shit, the devil comes up. I want you to sell your soul.
but him.
Him,
Uh,
yes.
and then was it caught stealing with
That looks
Darren
good.
Aronofsky. Uh, is another one I'd like to check out. Oh, have you seen um, uh, Nobody yet?
No, I haven't seen the first one.
Okay, well, go to the Amazon channel and search it there. It's not. It's like one of their branch channels, like the Freebie or something like that, because it has commercials. But
Yeah.
they've got Nobody. So go to the Amazon channel and search it there and watch it. I watched it. It's really good, and the action is like John Wick level. I mean, it's really good. Um, but anyway, I want to see Nobody 2, so go see Nobody first, so we can see Nobody 2. I think that
Yeah.
comes out next week, maybe. Uh, and so
Yeah.
go see Nobody.
But
And
yeah,
somebody,
yeah. Nobody. I don't know. Nobody two seems all right. I'll check it out.
but yeah, I think you would really enjoy it. I really enjoyed it. Um, but Nobody, yeah. And but I think after seeing Together and taking a chance with that, we should just go right to Naked Gun and don't even think about any other movie. Just go see Naked Gun. Because that's a movie I'm almost guaranteed to like. It's going to be stupid fun, and you know what you're going to get. It's not going to be a surprise what you're going to get with Naked Gun. uh, and we should just go see Naked Gun. And
Yeah, that'll probably be the next one. I've been looking forward to that, and I'm hoping that since it's kind of like a legacy sequel too, that's going to kind of parody. I know it's a different genre than like the horror stuff, but maybe they'll make fun of some of that shit too.
well, he's supposed to be Leslie Nielsen's son, I think. Uh,
Yeah,
and but yeah, we got to go see Naked Gun. And like I say, we know we're not going to take. We're not taking a chance with Naked Gun. We're going to get exactly what we're expecting. Uh,
yeah. There's certain movies that we see, but I would like to take some chances too on just some weird random shit, just to see what is to see if you like it or not.
well, that's what we did with Together. We definitely, took a chance.
I'll be honest with you. I'm glad I seen it, even though it wasn't for me. But if it wasn't for the timing and stuff, based on the trailer, I don't think I ever would have saw it. That's why sometimes I think the previews hurt some of these movies, because like when you watch the preview, either they tell you everything or they're so damn vague, or it's just I don't know. It's just kind of like just like or movies that come out like that. I know what you did last summer. I already predicted who one of the killers was, and I didn't even see the movie. I fell asleep with Spotify on, and I woke up to them talking about who one of the killers was. I'm like, "Yep, I knew it." I told my buddy Darren that before the movie came out. I told my coworker, I was like, "Man, it's going to be this actor. They're bringing him back. He's going to be one of the killers." And he's like, "That's stupid because he was into other movies." I'm like, "Nope, nope. He's going to be the killer." And I woke up with the radio playing Spotify, and they were talking about how he was the killer. So there's some movies that are turds, I think, and then there's some that are pretty good, and then there's some that you just take a chance on, and if you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't.
Yeah, yeah.
But I ain't paying to see that. I know what you did last summer. They kissed my ass. I'll wait till that's for free or something.
Honestly, I never was a big fan of the original. I thought it was okay, but it ain't a movie that I kept going back and watching again and again. I just, eh. It came
I
out was
like.
popular and it was all right.
I just like that part. I would always watch it on tape and stuff just to see what's her name go. What from me? You want it? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. She looks pretty good in that movie.
It's been forever since I've seen it. So.
But she looks pretty good in that movie too, and that was the main reason anybody watched it. Is like, oh shit, she's cute, and that scene where she's screaming, "What do you want from us?" is fucking hilarious. But I always thought of like Scream as Coca-Cola, and I know what you did last summer as like Great Value, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I'll be right. I'll be right back.
But yeah, I didn't want to pay for that because I don't want to sit paper. I know what you did last summer, and I already predicted who one of the killers were. I'd be falling asleep with the radio on sometimes, listening to Spotify, and it'd be talking about scary paranormal podcasts, giving me nightmares. It's crazy because you fall asleep listening to the news or something peaceful. and you wake up to, and then Ronald DeFeo murdered his family, and it just goes into it like, oh shit, turn that off, fuck that noise. Or you try to, there's that one podcast I listened to called Lights Out, and it's like the demon was haunting them and shit, and it's talking about, I'm like, yeah, I gotta turn that shit off while I sleep. Yeah, you ever done that?
What's that?
Fall asleep with Spotify on and it's something peaceful, and then next thing you know, you wake up in the middle of the night. You wake up in the middle of the night and you hear Ronald DeFeo murdered his whole family, and the demons made him do it, and it's gonna get you now too. Look at that.
But what else can we tell? Of course, it's old news. OZZY's old news, but
well, Flaco Jimenez died, who is one of the great musicians, kind of underrated. You could talk about Flaco Jimenez dying. He played with Dwight Yoakam. He did Mexican music, country western, polka. You know, being from West, we like our polka and shit. I mean, the guy, he's a brilliant artist. He died. Chuck Mangione died. We were talking about Jimmy Swaggart, but Ozzy Osbourne, of course, the Prince of Darkness, he died.
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan died. I would say something about this. Okay, there's a lot of wrestling fans that are telling Hogan to rest in piss and shit, but they'll, in the same breath, talk about how Benoit needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Chris Benoit murdered his wife and kids. I know he might have had brain damage, but Hogan said the N-word. Yeah, it's not good. It's not nice. It's terrible. Shitty person. But you really going to tell Hogan to rest in piss but praise Chris Benoit or Jimmy Snuka, who might have murdered his wife? But Hogan said something bad, so fuck him. You know, that's my little tirade on that, you know.
Cancel culture.
I mean, damn. I mean, it's just, it makes no sense. I know what he said was bad, but shit, you know? And especially because there's people in wrestling that done way worse. Murdering people, murder for hire, giving people drugs and overdosing them and shit. You know, I'm just saying, there's a lot of other people that deserve way worse treatment than Hulk Hogan got, you know. That's why you need to watch Dark Side of the Ring, Jay. You'll be blown away by that shit. I know you don't like wrestling, but you watch that, you'll be like, God damn.
Well, like I said, I like any kind of documentary. So.
And it gets worse. It gets worse as it goes. You're like, it can't get no worse than this, than this. And you click on the next one, and you're like, God damn. It can't get worse than this. What happened to this guy? Damn. And there it starts off good, and you're like, what happened? It's like, oh, then something bad happens. You know, it's crazy, bro. You got to watch Dark Side of the Ring. That shit's crazy. Yeah, dude, it's all kind of crazy. But what was that other movie that we saw? Because then we see some because we missed a couple episodes.
We saw F1.
Oh, that was badass.
And that was, that was good. It's a race car movie, but really well done. It's by the people that did the effects for Top Gun Maverick. So you're in the cars. You're really in the cars. And I don't watch racing, but, you know, because I don't watch baseball movies either. I mean, I don't watch baseball, but there's a lot of baseball movies I really like. But yeah, F1 was really good, and it was interesting to watch how the whole process is done. About how, you know, how do I describe this? The way that when the cars, when they're racing, how one car will get behind another car, and it will help with the, you know, the speed and I don't know. It's hard to describe.
It's like a team sport, and there's like a whole science behind it, and tire heat and all that jazz. Apparently they work out, and I didn't know they did that because I thought all they did was just practice racing and shit. And
but it's a lot more physical, you know.
It's like what I would call a Hollywood movie, like a big blockbuster movie. You have a big name star, Brad Pitt in it. He's awesome. The movie, it's fun. It was just a fun movie. And, like, man, and seeing it at the Cinemark with the surround sound, the seats were shaking and shit, like the noise. And it was cool, bro.
It's a movie. It's a summer movie. It's a movie you go and there's action and it's
Mayhem and craziness
and like you say with the surround sound and the big screen. It's a summer movie. You go and get into it and enjoy it. So yeah, F1. Uh,
what else did we see though that we missed? I'm trying to remember.
well, we talked about Megan, and of course we saw Superman and Megan. Uh,
Okay.
so as far together, that's the four we've seen: Superman, Megan, F1, and together. Uh,
What you need to do is you need to watch them damn Conjuring movies. So we go see the last Conjuring. It's the last one.
well, I wonder if the movie is where you don't even need to see the other ones. You can just get
No,
into
you
it.
need to see them. That could be a show right there, the Conjuring universe. You don't have to
Okay.
watch all of them, but I mean, at least see the first three. I think you'd enjoy them. I think the first,
I saw the first Conjuring. I don't remember a thing about it, so I need to see it again. But
I think the first Conjuring is on the scare level of the original Exorcist. If you ask me, like that movie scared the shit out of me. And then I made a mistake of watching that and Insidious when I was home alone by myself in the dark, and I was like, "Fuck that shit!" I didn't even want to get up to take a piss because it's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like sometimes when you watch a movie by yourself, it affects you. You know, I didn't think Insidious. I mean, I was kind of scared when I seen that in the theater, but watching that shit by yourself at home, I was just like, okay, that old green bitch is gonna be in the window, and I'm going to take a piss. Gonna pop up and get me. But yeah, that'll
it,
be a good one.
is the
I
doll
don't think it's.
Conjuring?
Oh yeah, Annabelle murdered somebody. The real life Annabelle doll murdered somebody, and guess what? Someone went and bought her at auction after like the other person died. So I guess she's gonna be racking up the bodies. You believe in that, Jay? You believe in Annabelle?
I don't know. I mean, of course, I talked with Kathy, and back when she was doing a show, she did a show. She talks to people that had seen ghosts. Kathy says she saw a ghost. Um, I don't know if I believe really strongly in that kind of thing or not. I don't disbelieve it. I'm not saying anything's impossible.
It's
So
one hell of a coincidence that a lot of the people that own that doll end up dying of weird shit, you know? Or
uh,
what if he, like me and my cousin talked about this, what if he had some kind of terminal illness or something that no one knew about? And he's like, I'm gonna fuck it, I'm gonna buy this doll. And then when I die, people gonna think it did something to me or something. Because that's some shit I would do. Like if they're like, Mr. Dvorak, you only have like 3 months to live. I'd be like, I'm gonna buy this doll and I'm gonna die, and they're gonna be like, it murdered him, and I'll be known as like one of Annabelle's victims or something. I would
well,
let you know about it though. That way you could hype it up. Be like, I warned him. I told him not to fuck with that damn thing, and look at him, dead.
I will say this: I wouldn't have that damn doll in my house, whether I believe or not. I wouldn't have that damn thing. I wouldn't be near
It's like
that.
that. It's like that Amityville horror house. Someone's like, if we gave you $1,000, would you spend the night? It better be more than $1,000 if I spend the night in that motherfucker. You better pay me like a year's worth of income. They're like,
Yeah,
it's like I believe enough not to fuck with that shit. You know, that's what I believe enough in. I believe enough not you don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't spit in the wind, and you don't go buy Annabelle at auction because some bad shit might happen. Man, I'm telling you though.
when do you think you might be? When are we going to see? When are we going to see Naked Gun?
Probably sometimes this week. I got to look at my schedule, our work schedule.
And you said you wanted to eat at the Anna Nicole Smith chicken place again.
Yeah. Oh, I want to show something I got from Half Price Books.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's on- yeah, it's on. Yeah. Thank God.
Anybody want to speak up here? We got Darren talk to us. Anybody else want to speak up, or ask a question or make a comment? Let's get this conversation going here. Hang on, what am I seeing there? Oh God, you're showing nudity. We're gonna get taken off the air. You're showing.
Let me tell you something. when I bought this, and I told everyone who's seen this who was laughing at me, I was like, "Look, I got a good deal on this because this is a statue, and you can't really see it on camera, but he looks like he's normal size. Okay, most of these statues for some reason have little dicks. I don't know why, but they just do. I got kicked out of a museum for asking why they have little willies because they're David, the statue of David, acting like he's all grand with his little willy. And I was just and I talked to several people over the years. And why do all these masculine ass statues have little shrimp dicks? If I was rich, I'd have that statue from King Frat, that small with a big old hog on it. But this was $2.99. I think I got a good deal on it because usually the Willie is smaller, and it's Beethoven Eroka. And I felt classy as hell listening to this.
Yeah, you sent me a video. You listening to the, and I like the music. Oh,
Yeah.
let's see.
Vinyl record.
Ew, goodness.
Jehovah Witnesses bothering you or something? I heard a doorbell.
No, it's my phone. It was Dana's new show. And I'm still a member of her channel, and it was I forget what
Sir Adrian. Okay, he's a fucking knight. Did this shit. Sir Adrian Bolt and the Promenade Orchestra of London. I don't know. Maybe the Darren from the UK knows that fella, but yeah, dude, I'm gonna hang that on my wall. If we ever do show and tell or something, I'm gonna bring this. This might be a good gag gift for Christmas. I like giving people gag gifts for Christmas. Wrap this shit up and have someone see that. Yeah. But that's something. And then, dude, you missed out because you found that Kiss Alive album, and it was missing one of the discs or one of the
because I said, man, shit, this would be worth some money. But they just had it's a double album. They just had one out, so I know I didn't get it. I think it was a live too, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a shame because I was going to get that, but it was missing an album.
The rodeo came to town, and it was walking distance. So me and my buddy, we went to go to the rodeo, and that was pretty cool seeing the bulls and the broncs and the cowboys and cowgirls and clowns and I was there like, well, you're at the rodeo, you need to take a dip. You got your boots on, you need to take a dip while you're at the rodeo. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna take me a dip at the rodeo. And it's been a while since I had a dip, and let me tell you something, god dog. At first, that nicotine hits you. You feel pretty good, but after a while, you're like, okay, now it's a bit too much. Got to take it out. But yeah, you should try some dip, Jay. That'll be the next thing. Get you some Copenhagen.
I know. I've never done that. I've never dipped. My dad had the store here. He used to sell it. He used to sell Copenhagen and one of them things. It's like them little pouches.
Yeah.
But I never have tried that.
I could try some jaw. I used to chew jawbacker. I could try that on the show.
Yeah,
chew some jawbacker.
He sold that, and he sold what was it? The bubble gum that was like a tobacco bubble gum.
Big League Chew.
Big League Chew. I like Big League Chew. And what else? I'm trying to think.
There used to be one I used to buy. It was a plug. It was called Cannonball, and it's a plug of tobacco about J big. And you open it, and you just. And then there was one that was like a rope of tobacco that you could chew or smoke.
What was it? A Swisher Sweets.
Oh yeah,
What's some
you roll
of the really underrated horror films that you
can smoke
have?
them too.
What's some of the really underrated horror films that I have? Huh?
Oh, that you love.
Oh, that I love. Okay, I'm so nearsighted. Sorry, Darren. Underrated horror films. That's a good question.
This is one I don't know if this counts as underrated, but I'm a big fan of. Nobody wants to watch it. with no one wants to watch it, no one wants to talk about it because it's an old silent film. But Hacks and Witchcraft Through the Ages. It's like a pseudo documentary horror film about witchcraft through the ages, and it's one of the best films I've ever seen in my life. I love it, and I think more people should give it a chance. There's a version with a narrator, but I kind of feel like you miss out a little bit. It's a Watching a good silent film is quite the experience, and if you get the Criterion DVD, I think it comes with the Czechoslovakian Symphony Orchestra, which I think is better than the jazz score that's on some of the free websites for Haxan. But either way, Haxan Witchcraft Through the Ages is probably like one of the best films I've ever seen in my life. I love that movie. Haxan's good. There's a made-for-TV film called Daughter of the Mind. It's where this dad, he lost his daughter and she died, and he keeps getting these weird messages like I hate being dead, or where so the kid's like trying to cope with being dead, and he's trying to figure out what's going on, and there's a twist and a lot of made for TV stuff too, like Bad Ronald is a good one where like the guy, he's living in the walls and being a pervert and a hooer. um what was on the original Are You Afraid of the or Don't Be Afraid of the Dark? Guillermo del Toro remade it, but in the original one, instead of being a kid, it's a grown woman that she has mental health issues, and no one believes her that these little monsters are fucking with her. And she's played by Kim Darby, and it's just a really creepy movie. And I felt the remake was just kind of,
Well, I
I
got
don't know.
a copy of it because I love the monsters. I love the alien creatures. But anyway, a Deadly Spawn.
Oh,
Uh,
I ain't seen that in a long. I barely remember that.
those creatures are
Galaxy
so cool with those teeth, and yeah, Deadly
Galaxy
Spawn and
Galaxy of Terror is a fun one too.
Galaxy of Terror. But yeah, Deadly Spawn, and the original title for Deadly Spawn was Return of the Alien. But they had to change that because Alien had come out, and I think they sued them or something. Said, "Well, you can't say Return of the Alien because it sounds like you're making a sequel to Alien." So they had to change that to Deadly Spawn. But here's the one I don't hear a lot of people talk about: Chud.
Is that the original?
This is the original DVD. Cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
That's a
And
fun one.
it's kind of these mutant sort of zombie fuckers that live underground, live in the sewers, and
Who lives in
it's
the
cool.
sewer? Who lives in the sewer under the sea?
Yeah,
Cannibal humanistic underground dwellers.
yeah. But anyway, Chud. Yeah, Chud. It's fun. It's stupid and silly, but it's fun. Chud. Uh,
Another one is, you remember that movie that came out a couple years ago called The Ruins? Like they go to this asset, and it's one of those things in horror movies when fucking the Mexicans try to tell them, don't go up there. It's bad. They go up there anyways because they're dumb white people, and they start getting plants growing in their skin, and they have to cut it out their skin. And I remember really liking The Ruins, man. Like that's one that was really one of those movies I hear nobody talk about. Like I don't hear no one talk about The Ruins. Um, would I See You with Sylvester Stallone, or I think it's called Detox in other countries? I don't know if that would be a horror film though. More of like a serial killer movie, but that's really good. I like that film. Dan, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of underrated ones that I really like. It's hard to kind of pick. I'm trying to think of some that nobody really talks about.
okay. Here's
Hey,
one.
have you seen the movie? Yeah, that's one right there, Dawn. Vinegar
And
Syndrome
it's
should release that shit.
it's signed by the cast and crew and shit. But anyway, Dawn. There you go. You can find it on YouTube. The search Dawn. I guess you can search Dawn in my name. I guess J Real, and that's an underrated horror film.
But
I don't really, but I really, I wouldn't call Dawn a horror movie, but it's got a vampire. It's got vampires in it. So there you go. Uh,
would you consider? Well, hell, he walked away. But
I'm listening.
Would you consider that movie with Sylvester Stallone, ICU, to be a horror film?
I see you.
It's called Detox some places too, but Sylvester Stallone's trying to catch a serial killer, and he sees his wife get murdered, and he becomes an alcoholic, and he has to go to this detox place, and the killer comes back, and he starts picking people off one by one. I would consider it to be kind of a horror film. It's kind of like Silence of the Lambs, I guess. One of those psychological type films.
I don't even guess I've seen it. I
It's
see
on
you.
Tubi. It's really good, and the killer keeps saying, "I see you. I see you,
Is
but
that
you don't see me."
that's the title of the movie? I see you.
Yeah, well, it's called Detox some places. On Tubi, it's called I See You. On other places, it's called Detox. And Chris Christopherson is in it. He's one of my favorite singers, and he's running the rehab place. And it's a good film, but I don't know if it's a horror film or not. I guess it would be. I mean,
Well, here's one. I would call it a horror movie, but Angel Heart, and it's Robert De Niro, Mickey Rourke, and Lisa Bonet, and Mickey Rourke plays this guy. I don't even want to spoil it. I will say what it when you find out who Robert De Niro is, it's at the end of it. It's like, oh shit. Well, I saw that coming, but it's a cool film. I like the way that it's filmed. Um, the Alan Parker, he did Midnight Express and Pink Floyd The Wall and a bunch of films, Mississippi Burning. But anyway, Angel Heart, and particularly for Mickey Rourke and Robert De Niro. And Lisa Bonet gets naked in it. You can see her fine body when she was
you know,
hot. And
you know what another one is? I actually bought it from Half Price Books. I got that big old thick set of The Others. You remember that movie with Nicole Kidman?
now, what's the name of it again?
It's called The Others. I bought that big old thick DVD
Oh,
set
the
of
others.
The
I
Others.
like the others. And the
That's a
others.
creepy fucking movie, man. My mama took me to that when I was a little boy, and I screamed so
Well, yeah,
hard. And
don't that one have a sad ending though? Don't it? You get
it
kind of
does, but it's so weird because this shows you how times have changed. My mama took me to The Others. Now, I usually was a good kid. I would shut up during horror movies. I would kind of cover my eyes or get scared, but I screamed. And instead of judging me, my mom, the whole audience laughed at me. They're like, he got scared. But nowadays, she probably would have been locked up for child abuse or something, taking me to see that. It was that
But yeah,
part where she.
that's an interesting movie because it's creepy, but the ending actually had me near tears.
It's so fucking good, dude. It was the part that made me scream was she had like a veil over her head. She's like, my daughter. And she's like, I am your daughter. But it's a weird face. And then they made fun of it with Michael Jackson. Oh, I had a Michael Jackson nightmare, by the way, when I was a kid, too. I don't know if I ever told you about that.
No.
I heard a noise at my window. I was actually talking to my buddy Lewis about this, and I opened the window. There's Michael Jackson's face. And I
Ooh.
woke up screaming. And I
Was
told my
he when he
mom.
had all that damn makeup and the fake nose?
No, it was the early 2000s, so whatever he looked like then, because I like his music, so I guess. And I ran to my parents' room. My mom's like, "But Michael Jackson's a good man," and all that stuff. My dad, like, if I saw Michael Jackson in the window, I'd fucking scream too.
Damn child
But it was
molester.
a weird.
What he was.
We ought to do it. We ought to do a Leaving Neverland because I don't know. Was he just a weirdo that thought he was a kid, or did he do something?
I think he really was a child molester, because he would have kids in his bed with him and shit like that. He would brag about that shit. Oh, it's the most loving thing in the world to share your bed with a bunch of
Well,
kids.
good thing I woke up then because he was trying to get me in my night. It was the weirdest nightmare, bro. Like
But
imagine
anyway,
that.
let me read what Darren says here. Silent Scream. Yes, I like Silent Scream. 1980. I would recommend myself. It's a slasher with Barbara Steele. Yes, I like Silent Scream, and he also likes Angel Heart. So,
What about Hacks and Witchcraft Through the Ages? Have you seen that? Because it's a Swedish-Danish production, and that would be perfect for y'all Eurocrypt people, just to try something different, bro. Because that film is, I'm telling you, like one of the best movies I think has ever been made. And somehow Criterion Collection had behind-the-scene footage from the 20s, and I don't even know how that works, but Apparently they did, and it's crazy, dude. And like I like putting heavy metal music on and watching it, man, and getting tore up. The devil's turning butter, and he's going like, ah. And then, like there's this girl, she's sleeping, and the devil's trying to seduce her, and he's like knocking on the door, and she don't wake up, so he's like, and he hooks up with her because she's a hooer. Yeah, it is crazy. It's crazy, damn. It's a crazy movie. I like that. I like that movie. Haxon. Haxon's badass. Let's see what else is there. Jay, you there?
I'm here. I don't even think I've heard of that movie. Did you say it's on Tubi?
It is, but if you want, I could bring you a DVD of it. Because if you're gonna watch it and not play heavy metal music,
So I don't.
well, I guess just watch it on Tubi then and play some heavy metal music. But it's like one of the creepiest fucking things too, man. Would
Film.
I don't know if he can hear me because he's fucking. I'm gonna go grab me a beer.
I said,
I'll be back.
did you say it's a silent film?
Yeah, but it's entertaining. That's the thing about it. Normally when I watch silent movies, there's two kinds. There's just kinds that are entertaining and I enjoy them, and then there's the kinds that are kind of like doing homework. And this is like one of the entertaining ones. Like I was like surprised at how fast it was over. You know, I think it might be better than some of the ones like get love. Like like Phantom of the Opera gets a lot of love, which is well deserved because of Lon Chaney Sr. and stuff. But I think Haxon should get a lot more love and praise. Would Werewolf of London, the Universal one, be considered kind of underrated since the Wolfman overshadowed that film? I guess it would be.
Well, I was over here when you were talking about underrated films. I was trying to find some, DVDs and stuff stuff that I would think would be underrated, but I'm having trouble finding it. But I'm sure if I gave it some thought, I could come up with some more titles.
Well, would you consider that one to be underrated?
What?
Werewolf of London by Universal Studios. It predates the Wolfman, but the Wolfman kind of overshadowed it. I
But it's
guess it
been
would
so
be
long.
under.
That's another one that's been so long since I've seen.
I
But
know She Wolf of London's another Universal one that's underrated,
let's
and
catch
that's
up
a
with
good.
let's catch up with Darren here. Short Night of Glass Dolls, 1971, and Who Saw Her Die, both Ado Lado films. I urge you to check out Short Night of Glass Dolls and Who Saw Her Die. Uh, and Brandon, we will do a silent special at one point.
Yeah, Hacks and Witchcraft Through the Ages, man, that's a good one. Bro, look at this, Jay. We
On
call
Miller
these
High
oil
Life.
cans.
Oh man,
We call these
that's
oil cans. 32
that goes
ounces.
that goes way back. My daddy used to sell that stuff.
It's the
But also,
champagne of beers.
but anyway, Darren says if you want something really nasty, watch Night Train Murders, 1975.
I'm still preparing myself for the original Martyrs because I don't know if I'm getting soft. Like, I used to watch all kinds of I used to find the most brutal shit I can find, but now I'm just kind of like, I'm more into Universal monsters and stuff now. I guess I'm getting soft. I don't know.
I want to see the original cast, the original Cat and the Canary, 1927. But yeah, he may pick on what you're suggesting.
It's not a horror film, but Lon Chaney Sr.'s in it, and there's a silent version and a talkie version. And in the silent version, I'm surprised nobody died because they used a real chimp. And if you know anything about chimps, they're very violent, like chimps and gorillas. And the way this gorilla and this actor, I'm surprised it didn't kill him or tear him apart or maim him or something. Because if you know about chimps and gorillas and shit, that usually doesn't go very well. And then the talkie one, it's a guy in a suit, but it's called The Unholy Three, I think it is. Lon Chaney plays a ventriloquist dummy, and he dresses in drag like an old lady, and there's a midget that looks like a baby, And so he pretends to run this parakeet store, and he throws his voice to make them talk. And then Lon Chaney, pretending to be an old lady, brings the baby over. When the parakeets don't talk, he throws his voice again, and the baby crawls around the house looking for goods and stealing shit. And there's a guy named Hercules who's a strong man that's like their muscle. And it's like a little scheme they got going on of this robbing people, and they pretend like the birds can talk and shit. It's a good film.
I'll tell you another one I don't hear a lot of people talking about, and it's one of my favorite movies uh, of that era, and that's Magic with Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, that's a creepy fucking movie, bro. Even the preview is scary to where he's all like,
that is one of the scariest trailers. That fucking dummy, abracadabra, I sit on his knee. Oh, God.
He turns into me. Look at that.
Yeah. Hocus Pocus. But, yeah, Magic with Anthony Hopkins, you know, because Hannibal Lecter, but this is an earlier film, Magic. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. See Magic. It's streaming somewhere. Go look it up.
That movie's creepy too, and
it's
I love
creepy, the damn dummy Fats. And Anthony Hopkins did the voice of the dummy, and it's kind of like he thinks the dummy is alive, you know, and it's like controlling him, and it's kind of like, you know, multiple personality kind of film, you know, about someone sort of dealing with multiple personalities. Great performance by Anthony Hopkins.
But you don't know if it's really alive or if it's him, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah. But Burgess Meredith is in it. Was it Anne Margaret? Anyway, Magic. Yeah. Go look that up. And that trailer. Look up that trailer on YouTube, Magic. Creepy ass trailer. And the two scariest trailers I ever saw was Magic and It's Alive with that rotating bassinet.
There's something wrong with the Davis baby.
Oh, don't even say it, shit. Oh, God.
That movie, though, the trailer's scary for that movie, but when you watch the movie, it's kind of fucking silly with that little puppet.
I got a Blu-ray set. I got all three movies on Blu-ray. Larry Cohen, I like Larry Cohen.
She-Wolf of London's a good one, a good Universal one too, to where you don't know if she's really a wolf or if she's crazy murdering people and stuff. Like, that's a pretty good one. I like Return of the Vampire with Bela Lugosi. I guess that would be kind of a underrated one as well. I don't know. I'm just kind of more into the gothic monsters and shit now. There's some good slasher. What was that one slasher film where it's like there's a high school prank that goes wrong. There's a class reunion, and he has a jester mask. He has like little bells on his head, a jester mask.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name of that.
Slaughter High, I think it is. That was a pretty good one.
Yeah, I think maybe I have that, Slaughter High. I definitely want to see Magic. Maybe do a double feature with Dead Silence, which is another underrated gem. There you go. Dead Silence and Magic.
Let me tell you something. My cousin hates horror movies. He can't fucking stand them, but he loves Dead Silence.
Darren, that is a perfect double feature. Magic and Dead Silence.
You're going to have some fucking nightmares, what you going to have.
But if you haven't seen Magic, you're gonna. I will be surprised after you see Magic if you don't think this is one of the best movies you've ever seen. Because they go, Anthony Hopkins is just amazing. They're doing these two personalities, doing the dummy, that's the dummy, and yeah.
I would say make it a triple feature. Watch Magic, then watch Audrey Rose as a palate cleanser because Anthony Hopkins is in that, and that's a horror film about reincarnation and shit. And then you could do Dead Silence.
Yeah.
That way you don't get too bored, and it's still kind of the same.
But that's a surprise, Darren. Is
Audrey Rose is a good one. I don't know if you ever seen that.
Yeah, all the movies you've seen, I would have sworn you'd seen Magic, but you haven't seen Magic. Well, you got to see Magic. Look it up.
You're frozen, Jay.
I'm not. I seem to be okay for myself.
Oh, favorite slasher?
My favorite slasher. Uh, uh, Let me give that some thought. Uh,
The first one, it's a hard one to think about. The one of the first ones that popped in my mind was the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I was had it beat over my head that that's not a slasher film. But if that's not a slasher film, I don't really know what is. Uh, I know this is going to sound really weird, but my favorite movie of all time, horror movie of all time, and movie in general is The Exorcist. But my favorite horror film, I would say, is the '80s Nightmare on Elm Street. Like I know that's a slasher, but Jay, I had it beat over my head one time that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the old one's not a slasher. But if that's not a slasher, I don't know what the fuck is.
I don't even know. I don't want to argue with you, but I don't know if I would consider that a slasher. It's, I don't know. You're right. It does have the hallmark of a slasher, but I don't know if I would call it a slasher. That's an interesting thought. But I tell you, and some people are going to laugh at me for my choice for my favorite slasher, but I'm going to go with the original Sleepaway Camp. That movie, it's stupid in some ways, I know, but I love it. I love everything about it. The characters are kind of over the top. The There's so many funny moments and standout moments in Sleepaway Camp, and of course that ending. Come on, uh, one of the most infamous endings to a slasher ever is Sleepaway Camp, and I would put that above even the Friday the 13th films, in which I love them too. But I'm going to say Sleepaway Camp, the original Sleepaway Camp. Um, yeah, that's the one I had the most fun with. It's probably the one I've watched the most, um, and I love it. There's so many standout moments in that film. I did a watch along for it with Dirk, uh, and yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. Sleepaway Camp. Um, and Darren says The Burning, Eyes of a Stranger, The Funhouse. Yeah, I like all of those. The Burning and The Funhouse are the ones I've seen most recently. Uh, and what is it with the Dead Pit guys in The Burning? They don't like The Burning? Because I noticed they would bring that up, like when they would do like a tier list and stuff. They'd say, well, this one is not The Burning or not as bad as The Burning or whatever. I don't know.
They have a hatred for The Burning, I guess. I don't know. I think maybe it's because it came out the same year as Madman, and Madman didn't do as good because of The Burning or something.
I like The Burning. I don't love it, but I like it.
Yeah,
It gets
it's a good film, but I just don't. I mean, they'll praise something like the Forest, but then they'll hate on The Burning.
Yeah, I like The Burning. Good Tom Savini effects. Good gore effects from Tom Savini.
Yeah,
Particularly that moment when they're out there in the was it the raft or the boat and all that them shears come down, Uh,
it's a good
and,
slasher film. It's a good slasher film.
but anyway, Darren says, yeah, Dead Pit hates The Burning. So,
Yeah, they hate The Burning. They hate the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. But you're saying you don't want to argue that it's not a slasher, but you don't think it is. That's because there's
I
just not a
don't
lot of
know.
blood in it.
That's an interesting conversation, Darren, because I don't know, because it's an early film. Was it 73, 74, which is Texas Chainsaw? That I don't feel slasher when I watch it. It feels like a horror movie. It's very intense. It's very scary, and the characters are very frightening. But I don't know if I consider it a slasher. That's an interesting conversation. Um, but anyway, Darren agrees with you, though. Darren says it's a slasher to him. So
This thing is a slasher because it's a big man in a mask with a weapon picking people off.
yeah, you can make that argument, and
Because I mean,
you may convince me.
because Halloween's considered to be a slasher, and there's not much blood or gore in that film either.
Would you consider Psycho a slasher?
Oh, kind of, yeah. Proto slasher, I guess.
Kind of an early slasher film.
Not not quite slash. It's hard to explain. Like I feel like that one influenced slashers, if that
Yeah,
makes sense. Like I wouldn't be mad if someone included it as a slasher, but at the same time, I understand why people don't.
yeah.
It's a classy slasher, I guess. I don't know.
Also, uh, Norman Bates to me is the most likable killer in any of the slasher films, any of the horror films. You like Norman. You like him to the very end, even when you find out who he is and what he's done. You still
Like
like
in
Norman.
Psycho 2, you're kind of rooting for him to get away
Well,
with
yeah,
it.
Psycho 2, and one of the best performers, Anthony Perkins, his performance in Psycho 2 is just tremendous. And you always like Norman. You never stop liking Norman. Even when he's killing people, he's such a likable guy. You like Norman. You feel bad for him. Yeah. Um, and Darren says it's a guy in a mask killing teenagers. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Other people describe it as folk horror too, but isn't folk horror more like Wicker Man and shit? Like I heard people call Deliverance folk horror too, but I think Deliverance is more like hillbilly horror, you know? Because when
Yeah.
I hear folk horror, I think of like Wicker Man or Midsummer or something like that.
But Darren says yes, Psycho. So I guess he considers Psycho a slasher. Um, Darren says I would include the Spiral Staircase, 1946, as one of the first and best. That's one you both should see. I don't think I've seen that Spiral Staircase.
I never heard of it. It'd be fun to check it out since I like all the older. I'm getting into some of the older stuff, you know.
I'm writing
The
it down.
Spiral Staircase. You could even say that some of those mummy films, like The Mummy's Ghost and The Mummy's Hand, and some of those are kind of like slasher films because that version of the Mummy basically is like a slasher villain picking people off.
Oh,
Here's a fun one. Would you consider High Plains Drifter to be a horror film because of the ending? Because it starts out like a normal western and then it gets all ghostly and shit.
with Clint Eastwood. It's been
Yeah,
so long since I've seen it. That's one I need to receive before I
yeah,
can.
it gets supernatural and ghostly at the end. So that's a weird one.
But he said we both would love to Spiral Staircase. I've written that down. Do you know if it's streaming anywhere? Is it on Tubi or something? Uh, but yeah, definitely want to check that out. Spiral Staircase. Spiral Staircase. Um, oh, what is that horror film where the guy is like hiding and he's filming women and he kills them, but he
Peeping
films,
Tom.
huh?
Peeping Tom.
Peeping Tom. Yeah. And would you consider that a slasher, an early slasher? Uh,
Yeah. It's also I would consider it to be kind of like an early slasher, but also the early psychological horror type thing. You know, kind of like how Silence of the Lambs is like it's a horror film, but it's like that genre of horror.
and Maniac.
Maniac's a slasher.
It's a
Uh,
slasher, but it's also dealing with a psychological horror.
you want
Uh,
to piss some people off. You want to piss some horror fans off. Say that Cruising is an American Giallo. I got raked over the coals for that one too.
Acres of Movies is here. Hey, Acres. Hi, so many updates. A new movie called Goner is being made and sold through EFM. Jennifer Jason Leigh is already attached to it. It is The Fog meets Scream meets Scanners meets Candyman. Amazing story. Oh, cool. Uh, but that's an interesting. That's almost like a another subject for a show is slashers or early slashers, early films you would consider
Proto slashers, I guess you would say.
proto slashers. Um,
Yes.
because Maniac I guess I consider Maniac a slasher, but also it deals with what they kind of call psychological horror. You know, uh, the
Yeah.
someone that's losing their mind. You know, and he was abused as a kid. Poor, you know, that's the problem. There's all these poor kids that were abused turned into slashers and maniacs. Uh, Darren says, "I love cruising. You both have probably seen Alice, Sweet Alice. Yes, but it's been a
Yeah,
while since I've seen that.
it's been a while since I've seen it too. Who's that famous actress that's in that?
Oh shit! You can't come between me and my Calvins. Shit. uh, oh God, say it, Darren. Who that is? Uh,
Yeah, but isn't that like she was like a famous? Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, that's an interesting, creepy mask too.
yeah, the mask is creepy. Um, Brooke Shields. Brooke Shields. Um,
Yeah,
you've seen Eyes of Laura Mars. Yes, that's another one that it's been a while since I've seen Eyes of Laura
I ain't
Mars.
seen that one.
I think maybe I've got that on DVD somewhere. Eyes of Laura Mars. Uh, gosh, there's a lot. I need to make some notes here because I wrote down the one of them there, but and I want to see that silent film you keep bringing up.
Oh, that's Haxan Witchcraft Through the Ages. That's a great one.
Uh, but anyway, Mommy Dearest, Faye Dunaway is in Eyes of Laura Mars. Uh,
Mommy Dearest is a movie that's scary for for all the wrong reasons.
no wire hangers, man.
God damn,
I've
she
got some
beat the
wire
fuck
hangers.
out that
That's
girl.
something you don't hardly see. You don't really see much anymore is wire hangers. I've got some wire hangers, but
She
I don't
beat
really.
that girl's ass with them fucking wire hangers.
Uh, and really, you know, she kind of makes a point. You really shouldn't use wire hangers. They stretch the fabric, and yeah, she went a little overboard about it. I'll say that.
My grandpa used to use wire hangers, baling wire sometimes, and hose clamps to try to make the radio catch. He could use it to make the radio antenna catch more.
That's what I used to do back in the days where we had rabbit ear antennas. Is use wire hangers for an antenna for a TV.
I
Um,
must be broke as fuck because I still use rabbit ear.
well, the first TV I ever had is my Aunt Dorothy, my mother's sister. My Aunt Dorothy gave me a black and white TV for Christmas, and had the rabbit ears. And I remember getting some wire hangers to make some better, antenna that would pick up stations better. Uh, yeah, I had a black and white TV. Uh,
Yeah, I never seen that Eyes of Laura Mars.
but yeah, Faye Dunaway in that. Uh, it's good, but it's been so long since I've seen it. It's another one I need to revisit. Um, Eyes of Laura Mars. Isn't it like a psychic kind of thing? Isn't she a psychic, Darren, in Eyes of Laura Mars? Um, you both want to see a good film. Watch the original and Soon the Darkness, 1970. Now, what do you mean you see the original? What are you talking about, Darren? And Soon the Darkness, 1970. It's kind of a slasher. Soon the Darkness. Um, and yeah, she's a psychic. Yeah, Eyes of Laura Mars, she's a psychic. Um, yeah. Um, but yeah, that's one definitely I want to recheck
And
out. One
that
of them,
I think you're saying that there's an original and a remake. Would you consider Mystery at the Wax Museum and House of Wax, the Vincent Price version, to be slashers?
uh,
Because he does murder people kind of one by one, and he's kind of disfigured and
kinda,
has a plastic
and
mask.
So speaking of Vincent Price, what about the Dr. Fives movies?
That is kind of like a slasher too, but it's also, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Theater of Blood is most definitely a slasher.
Um, I don't know. The Dr. Fives movies are kind of like slashers. Uh,
It reminds me of like, I think it influenced Saw or something, like maybe
I
something.
think in the Saw and Final Destination, because he sets these traps where it's kind of like a Final Destination. Where one thing leads to another and leads to another, and it ends with someone getting killed. So I think the Dr. Fives movies kind of influence Final Destination. Um, and Darren says House of Wax remake is definitely a slasher, more of a tourist trap redo.
I was talking about the Vincent Price one because if memory serves, doesn't he just go around just picking them off one by one? It's been a while since I've seen those.
It's been a long time since I've seen that. The only thing I can remember because it was I can't see in 3D. It was a 3D movie, and then that damn paddle ball coming at the screen. uh, yeah.
But yeah, that was a Theater of Blood's definitely one. I'm sure that there's other proto slashers, that you could kind of think of to where there's even that Werewolf of London. He kind of picks people off one by one after transforming. So it's a formula that's been around for a long time. It's not a slasher movie, but there's an old German film called M with Peter Lorre, and he's like a child killer, and the mob's trying to catch him, and the cops are trying to catch him. That's a pretty good one too.
Peter Lorre. Of course, the Dark Knight of the Scarecrow.
Yeah.
When did that come out? Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. It was a TV movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a television movie made for TV.
Yeah.
Town Dread Sundown. That's definitely, I would consider that to be like a slasher slash true crime type thing. Hmm. Trying to think of a really obscure one.
This is. I never have opened it or watched it. I guess this is the remake.
That one's all right. It's a remake, kind of a movie within a movie kind of thing, because the movie exists in their timeline, and it's like a copycat for the film or something.
Huh.
I didn't hate it, but I didn't really love it either. It's just kind of there. It's kind of all right.
Yeah. It's like it's still sealed, so I never I never watched it. So. Interesting. Proto slashers or early slashers.
Yeah, pseudo slashers. I don't
Pseudo
fucking know.
slashers. Well, you like I say, that's a kind of a common horror trope is a killer that kills a bunch of people.
Hell, couldn't you say like if you really want to go old school, the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari?
Yeah.
Doesn't that I mean,
Or
it's always
the Dracula films. I guess you could say Dracula is kind of a slasher.
Would you consider the Birds? That's a fucking stretch, I know, but them birds be fucking them people up one by one, gory and shit.
And I guess he's talking about the remake of Town of Dread of Sundown. I like the remake. It's very much like a Scream film.
So, yeah, I can see that. And then you get into the conversations of like movies like Hostel and Saw, whether or not those are slasher films or they're not slasher films or torture films. But always kind of lump those together too, even though they're different. Because it's a blood and gore show is basically what it is. They're picking people off one by one, but instead of just killing them, they're torturing them or whatever. But I could kind of see that being a slasher film. But people say, no, it's a torture movie.
Well, they're not just being tortured, they're also being killed.
Yeah, I know. And I don't know, like how I think I outgrew a lot of that shit. I think I really because I used to seek out the most brutal shit. Now I'm just kind of, I guess I'm kind of tame now. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. I don't really look for movies that have like a lot of that isn't a selling point for me. Is that it has a lot of gore in it. The exception being the Terrifier films, but I'm watching that more for Art the Clown.
Comedic, yeah.
Yeah, um, I like Art the Clown, and I like the way he kills people, and he goes over the top, and that's fun. But I don't really seek out movies that have a lot of gore just because they have a lot of gore. I used to do that. I don't really do that anymore. It needs to have a story to it. It needs to have a hook to it if I'm going to enjoy it and seek it out. Um, and let's see. The Collector is a torture slasher. That's superb. I
Oh,
don't
the
think I've seen.
Collector is really good. I like the Collector.
I don't guess I've seen The Collector.
It's a imagine a horror movie version of Home Alone, kind of like he goes in these people's houses and he sets up all these crazy ass traps that just tears them apart and shit.
Huh.
It's worth watching. I mean, it's worth. I mean, I think it's worth watching.
It's
For some
interesting.
reason, it just never caught on. I don't know why. You think that would have been like the next big like franchise or whatever, but I think there are two sequels. It just didn't catch on.
What about Final Destination, where the killer is death? But would you consider a Final Destination a slasher? Because there's not an actual physical person doing
That's
killing.
a good one. I know Roger Ebert used to use the term "dead teenager movie," so where they or dead teenagers, it's always a teenager or a group of college kids getting picked off one by one. I don't know if I would call it a slasher, but it's definitely kind of fits in that vein of a body count. I would say it's a body count movie
Yeah.
because even though you can't see death, I mean they're getting picked off one by one in brutal kind of ways, and what they did with the first film was really smart because Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer and all that shit was really popular, and they just kind of made their own unique thing with it.
Akers says early old world settlers are killed for their land by other settlers. They live as a spectral curse and kill people. A native curse that also had land and a slasher guy, double horror. I guess you talk about that Jennifer Jason Leigh movie, um, Acres. And Darren says, "Do you like the urban legend films?" That's
I like the first two. I don't think I ever seen the third one.
well, those another kind of movies that kind of came around Scream. Kind of like I Know What You Did Last Summer and that kind of thing. Because it's been so long since I've seen. I think I've seen the first one, but it's been a long time.
It's pretty good. I mean, the first one has a lot of the horror legends in it, like Robert Englund, Brad Dourif has a part in it, probably some other people, and it's kind of like more like a Scream movie to where it's a whodunit slasher. And the second one's Bloody Mary, so it's Bloody Mary's killing the people.
Huh.
And then the third one's called Final Cut, but I never seen it. But I'm assuming based on the poster and shit that it's a slasher film too. But the killer in Urban Legend, the first one kills them by urban legends. Like each death has to tie into an urban legend.
Oh, okay, okay.
So, and that was interesting. And then the second one's called Urban Legends 2, Bloody Mary, because Bloody Mary's an urban legend. So, I think it would have been interesting, to see if that series continued to just kind of be different, like an anthology. Each sequel's different.
Uh, Final Cut is the second. Bloody Mary the third.
Okay. Well, Bloody Mary, whatever. Yeah, that's the third, I guess. But it's still, what
But
I'm
but
saying.
but
It
it
was
was
fun.
weird. You think the third one would be called Final Cut, not the second one? But
There's never a final one, just like with the Conjuring movie. I'm telling you,
And Friday
there's gonna be
4.
a fuck. There's gonna be a fucking other one. They're gonna be like, we have to call these people. I know these people, but they haven't done it for years. And it's gonna show the Warrens' mailbox or some shit. They're gonna be like, we gave this up a long time ago, and they're like, you're the only ones who can help us, and then fucking write this shit down because I know it's gonna happen, and it's gonna be like some scary ghost shit's gonna come up, some faces gonna be like, and it's gonna be like The Conjuring in 1980 something. All this bullshit happened. That's what's gonna happen because everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my god, it's the last Conjuring movie. We have to see it." Oh shit, it made a buttload of money. We got to make another one.
Yeah.
But let's see what else would be. But it's kind of like you could. I don't know what other ones I could think of that might be proto slashers. I'd have to do some googling.
Let's see here.
I mean, you can make the argument that maybe the '50s Thing is kind of one where he picks people off, but that's more of like a monster movie. Would you consider Hellraiser to be in that kind of same? Nah, because that's not. That's more like demonic type shit. But there's kills in it. It's a body count film too. It's just the Cenobites be ripping people apart with chains and shit.
Here's something called Evolution of the Slasher, the early horror slasher films, and this is
A podcast?
it's IMDb.
Oh,
But here we
IMDb.
go. Peeping Tom. Number 2 is Psycho. Dementia 13. Isn't that a Francis Coppola movie? Yeah.
Never seen it.
Yeah, Dementia 13. Straight Jacket. William Castle. Straight Jacket. Blood and Black Lace, which is a Mario Bava film, which is 1964. The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, another Dario Argento film. A Bay of Blood, Mario Bava. I didn't think about Last House on the Left.
I don't know if I'd see that as a slasher film. That's more of like a exploitation kind of torture type thing. But I can see how it fits in there.
Black Christmas. A lot of people think that's like the first true slasher film of the modern era is Black Christmas. Of course, that came out before Halloween because a lot of people pick out Halloween as being like the early slasher film, but most
Halloween was probably like the first big mainstream one, I guess.
Hey, number 11, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
So there you go. IMDb says it's a slasher. Deep Red, Dario Argento. We mentioned Alice, Sweet Alice. Town That Dreaded Sundown. I Spit on Your Grave. Huh.
I don't see that as a slasher. I guess. I mean, that's more of a revenge film.
Revenge movie, but she's killing people one by one. Cuts a guy's dick off.
I guess.
The Shining. Yeah.
Do you think this list is kind of like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, to where there's people from the 50s, like Hank Williams, that wasn't a rock star, but he influenced? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's probably what that is, I guess.
But The Shining, I don't know about The Shining. Dress to Kill. Brian De Palma's Dress to Kill.
I can see that one.
Here's one because it's based on a real person, but it's not a real story. But it's a Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, based on Henry Lee Lucas. But he has a different name.
That's a hard watch right there. That's pretty brutal as Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Hellraiser's on here. Candyman. But I don't know. Is that a slasher? Because Candyman's kind of a supernatural guy.
I consider him a slasher. He's kind of like he's kind of like how Freddy's a slasher, but he has supernatural abilities.
uh, American Psycho. Now here's the question about American Psycho. I really like American Psycho, but did he do anything? Did he kill anybody? At the end of it, you have questions like that. Was he just crazy and he just thought he killed all these people, but he didn't kill anybody? So, what do you think
Yeah,
about it?
I would consider it a slasher film, even though the ending is kind of. I mean, if you watch it, I don't think he did any of that shit. But then American Psycho 2 came out with Mila Kunis, and he apparently did all that shit. So
And then this, the strangers.
that's
Yeah,
more of like a home invasion to me.
but and Saul's on here. And it's been a long time I've seen this. I need to look this up and watch this again. Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon,
Oh, that's a
which is
fun one. That's a fun one. I like that one.
it's kind of a documentary following a serial killer.
Yeah, it's a fun one. It's a fun
And,
movie.
but anyway, Darren says, let's get this question up. Another question: what's some of your fave slashers of the last 10 years? Well, I'm going to go number one would be the well, shit.
Last
Uh,
10 years, I'd have to say maybe Terrifier
I was
2,
going to say
I guess.
Terrifier. The Terrifier films, probably Terrifier films. You know, the three Terrifier films. Because I haven't really watched a lot of modern slashers.
Now, I have a
Terrifier.
question. I'm trying to count back because a part of me was going to say Friday the 13th, 2009, but that was over 10 years ago, wasn't it? Like, that was like 20, damn near 20 years ago, right?
Hellfest, Haunt, Hush,
That's
Last
just a good
House.
one.
Darren really wouldn't call Last House a slasher. Definitely American Psycho. It was all in his head, I would say. Uh, so yeah, would you call it a slasher when maybe he didn't really do anything? He didn't kill anybody. Um,
I would just because the journey you go on.
it's a great movie. I think it's one of the best movies of the last 20, 30
Probably
years.
Christian Bale's best film.
Yeah. Strangers 2, Pray at Night. Uh,
Oh, yeah. Well, Pray at Night's most definitely a slasher film, but the first Strangers to me is more of like a home invasion movie because there's not really too many people getting killed. It's just that couple in the house fighting them off, you know? But I mean, that's another one that Dead Pit hated that I just loved. You know, I loved the first Strangers.
I need to see it again. I think I've
It's a
seen it, but
creepy fucking movie, man. But my only thing is that Strangers Chapter 1 that was just like a bad remake of the first film, and I was disappointed because Rennie Harlan did it, and I thought it was going to be so much better.
here's a good question. Would you call The Hitcher a slasher? Uh,
No, that's more of like a. What's weird is action movie pops in my head when I think of the '80s Hitcher because there's a bunch of explosions and shit. It's also like a road movie because they're traveling so much.
I don't know if I would call Hitcher a slasher. Um, there's a lot of different genres sort of
I
mixed
mean,
in,
I
but I
guess
don't know.
it's a horror film because it's scary, but at the same time, I don't even really. I would put that in the action section more than anything. Cobra with Sylvester Stallone, that's a Trojan horse movie because you think you're getting an action movie, but that's a slasher. That guy's going around and murdering people, and Stallone, that's like a hybrid.
Huh.
Uh, what about Play Misty for me?
I don't
Because
know.
she murders a couple people.
I don't know. I wouldn't call that a slasher. It's a sort of a psychological drama. You know,
Yeah.
she's crazy. You know, it's poor Clint Eastwood is stalked by a crazy woman, and but he fucks her. He shouldn't have fucked her. You don't fuck a crazy woman.
And then he punches her, and it's a dummy flying out the window.
He shouldn't have fucked her. You know, but he did. And really, she sort of gave indications that she wouldn't really hooked up right even before he fucked her. But I don't know. I wouldn't really call it a slasher. Play Misty for me.
I would
more of
consider it to be a horror film, though.
kind of a horror film, kind of a psychological horror film. Um, that yeah, you know. But no, I wouldn't really call that a slasher. Um, good movie though.
Yeah, it's a real. We could do a show to where it's just those kind of psychological thriller type films. Because Dressed to Kill, there's people that try to say, "Oh, that's not a horror movie; it's a psychological thriller." It's like, yeah, it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
That's a good one too. Dressed to Kill, I love that film.
The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, Fatal Attraction, and Basic Instinct all have slasher elements. Yeah, and a Fatal Attraction, I think, just ripped the hell off of Play Mystery for me.
Well, Clint Eastwood got it stirred up some controversy, but when Play Misty 4 came out on DVD, he said that yeah, they remade our movie and all this stuff, and the Fatal Attraction people got pissed off. It was like, we didn't remake it; it's a different story. But it's like
It is
it's
a different
practically
story, but I
it's
will say this:
practically the same.
when I saw when I saw Fatal Attraction, I remember. I think I said it out loud. This is fucking Play Misty for me. This, uh, I was, I enjoyed it, but I was like, this is fucking Play Misty for me.
Instead of Michael Douglas being a DJ, he has some other type of job where she harasses him at and shit
It's
and
a
called,
different story, different characters, but the basic plot being stalked by a crazy woman, that he fucks, shouldn't have fucked her. that's
moral of the
that's the
story: don't
problem
cheat on
with
your spouse.
that's the problem with these guys is their dick gets them in trouble, and you don't sleep around, and you don't fuck crazy women, and
Crazy though is in those movies. Like, I'm not saying that the actress in Play Misty for Me or Glenn Close are unattractive. They're not. But the wife was way fucking harder in those movies too. In both of them, I
yeah,
thought. So I just didn't get it. But yeah, it is kind of a knockoff. Now, I do want to say I don't think Dress to Kill is a ripoff of Psycho. It's different. It's definitely has elements from Psycho, but I can see the Dress to Kill fans being kind of more upset if someone called that a ripoff of Psycho than the Fatal Attraction people being mad at Clint Eastwood because it's so damn similar.
yeah, yeah. But no, this has been a good conversation. Uh, and that's a good topic. Kind of, proto slashers or early slashers, and of course, Nightmare on Elm Street's on here. But I like to say once again, Freddy being sort of a supernatural being. I guess you would call it a slasher. It's got all the
What
elements.
was weird is I seen old VHS tapes that had, how it would say the genre on their horror? It said fantasy/horror on the box. So I guess some people classify it as being fantasy.
Here's
Too.
another one, and I don't think I've seen this. Torso.
Ain't that a Giallo?
Sergio Martino. Torso.
Yeah, I think I seen that. That's like a Giallo.
When the University of Perugia is rocked by a string of murders committed with red and black scarves, four co-eds retreat to a countryside villa where the killer is closer than they think. Torso. I need to look that up. Have you seen that, Darren? Torso? And he says Dress to Kill is a giallo film. Kind of, yeah, kind of like an Argento film. You think he was influenced by Argento, Brian De Palma?
Probably was.
Darren says Torso is a cross slasher giallo. You both got to see that.
I think I did. I just don't remember it.
Write that down.
I think I seen it. I just don't remember a damn thing about it.
Yeah, that's another one I need to look up. Torso is in his top 20 of all time. So, damn. Well, I need to look that up. Torso. I've heard of it, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
I'm trying to remember it. I know I've seen it. I just don't remember a damn thing about it. It's been so long. I know there's
uh,
one called Tenebrae that's pretty good.
oh, Tenebrae. Yeah, that's another one that I haven't seen in a long time. Stage Fright 1987 is another good one. Stage Fright.
What was that? Because I'm gonna have to be going in a bit, but the one I came to my mind. What was that movie with the hag mask and the girl's ice skating, and the hag has the hand sickle and she's kind of ice
Oh,
skating?
I
A
can't
real
remember.
creepy fucking movie. Stage Fright. Was it Stage Fright?
Well, that's
Was
he
that
just
was
brought
that that one?
yeah, he just brought that up. 1987 Stage Fright.
Okay, that's why it popped in my head. It's been so long since I seen it, but I remember just that being a real creepy fucking movie.
Yeah. But yeah, good conversation and good subject there. And another one he brings up is curtains, which is I don't know if I've seen that.
Oh, was Curtain the one with the hag? It might have been Curtains. Curtains might have been the one with the hag mask. I don't remember. And there's there's this really weird, creepy doll they find before they get killed and shit. It was a real creepy fucking movie.
Yeah, yeah. He says yeah. So that's curtains you're talking about.
All right, Jay, I'm gonna have to wrap it up because I got work in the
Well,
morning. But
let me wind this up. Well, thank you, and particularly Darren, thank you so much. You've really it gave us a new subject to talk about, and that was good. Kathy, thanks for chiming in, Kathy, and yeah, Darren, way over in Wales, across the pond,
we're
and
international now.
yeah. Thank you for everything. Please, everybody, if you're watching and enjoying what you're seeing, please hit that thumbs up. I'm going to bug you guys until y'all finally do what I'm asking. Hit that thumbs up, please, and keep chiming in. Spread the word. Let people know if you're enjoying what you're seeing here. And Darren says, "Great show, guys. Thank you, Darren. This has been a good one. I've really enjoyed this one, and you've helped a lot with that, Darren. Thank you so much." Um, yeah. Okay, Brandon. I'll talk to you soon, and hopefully we'll go see Naked Gun here soon. And uh, you take care. Everybody take care, and we will see y'all soon. Y'all
Already,
have a good night.
y'all
Bye.
come back now. You hear?